And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. Today I am reviewing F1, the F1 movie that just came out. Been a few months now since it came out, but I got to see this in theaters right before it left. It was literally the first non-work thing that I did when I got home from our trip, so it's pretty cool. You guys know my opinions on Formula One as a sport. Super fucking boring. Okay? I don't understand how people love this shit so much. There's literally maybe two passes all race. The same guy wins week after week. It's literally no skill involved sport. It's all about how much financial backing you have. You can't drive the cars at all, otherwise they fall apart. Okay, and I don't understand how it keeps raking in so much money. Just like soccer, they just they just literally dumped it all over the world, like BP does with their oil in the oceans, and people just soak it up. They don't have a care in the world, I guess. That's my opinion on F1 as a sport. Now, how do I think about the movie? I got a lot of thoughts on it. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? I gotta say, guys, this is a really good movie, which surprised me. I watched that Drive to Survive, I think it was called, or is that the NASCAR version? Whatever the Netflix thing that they did for F1, I watched that, or I think I watched a little bit of it. I don't remember if I finished it, but I really liked it. I thought that was cool. And I think they took a lot of inspiration of that when they made this movie. Again, because there's a lot of F1, actual real F1 drivers in this movie. They go to a lot of real F1 tracks and they use real commentators like Lee Diffie. Lee Diffie's in this. Woo! I don't really like him as a commentator, but it's cool he's in this movie. Woo! So that's awesome. Which I think helps, to have with the realism. I'm glad they were able to do that. So that was cool. There were a lot of parts taken from Talladega Nights in this too. I think I mentioned that in my last movie review, Get Hard, and I remember mentioning it here too because again, it's not really nearly as much the same, but there is some similarities, especially at the beginning, with kind of the guy who wins everything, rebel type. Not really rebel, but I don't really know where I'm going with this. You will see some similarities if you watch that movie and you watch this one. You're gonna see some similarities, but so just prepare for that, I guess. Gotta say, Brad Pitt though, not the biggest Brad Pitt fan in the world. Not. I think he's a fine actor. He just doesn't have really anything marquee. He doesn't have a signature role. But he is really good in this movie. In fact, he is a huge part of why I really like this movie. He plays the main character, which is already forgot what his name is. Fuck. I was hoping to know it, but I don't remember it. That's okay. He plays that main character really, really, really well. Really well. Way more well than he should. Way, way better. So that made me very happy because there's many different routes that they could have taken with this, and I thought they were going to take I thought they were either going to take a really satirical path or they were going to be so serious that people really couldn't take them serious. But I think they gave F1 and the sport of racing in general the respect that it deserves with this movie. I think they did a really, really good job with that. And Brad Pitt is a huge reason why it worked so well. They do really overestimate how durable F1 cars are. Like, they can't touch each other at all on the track without disintegrating. In fact, they can't really do anything except go on one specific line around the track without having a multitude of issues. But in this movie, they literally do like off-roading and they bump into each other and they crash and keep going sometimes. And nobody bats an eye to it. I've watched maybe 2 F1 races in my life, and even I know it's a bit playing it up. I knew that they were. It was once I saw the opening credits, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's produced by Lewis Hamilton, an F1 driver. It's funded by Apple, a company that loves to chase the trends and go with F1. Did a lot of funding for this movie. So obviously they're going to glorify F1 as a sport. And I think they did it a little too much. Because they want people to think this is how F1 is when it's not. And that's kind of a thing with the Netflix thing as well. You have to try and make it interesting while also realistic. And F1 doesn't do that. You have to be either bored or in Cloud 9 with F1. Or you just have to be a fan of the guy who wins all the time, Max Verstappen. And then you can be both. That was one of my bigger complaints with this movie. It was that I didn't quite enjoy that part. Like, I knew it was going to happen, though. You knew it was going to happen, so it didn't bother me that much. But still. Come on. Also, the love interests in this movie are she is painfully obvious. I mean, I knew who was going to be the minute she popped on screen. I mean, could you have been more obvious with that? The fuck? Also, they said Binker! They said Binker twice! They said it twice in this movie! They said Binker twice! What the fuck? They said it twice! So weak. I also really like Bernadette as a character. I think she's based. She's a based character. And if you want to talk about not realistic stuff at all, let's talk about that big crash scene about around the midway point of the movie. I get that the cars go fast and that they're not relatively heavy. But an F1 car would not do that in that instance. Everybody watching that movie who has watched it and seen that scene should know that. If you thought wrong, you're blinded, or you just love Apple so much you don't think they do any wrong. Yeah. It's like in Talladega Nights when, again, another thing from Talladega Nights, when in the crash scene earlier on in the movie, they just put it. I mean, they didn't even try to hide the fact that they just put explosives underneath the cars to make them flip, which didn't look realistic at all after they just spun out a bit. It was like that, kind of, with that crash scene. But I did like some of the other characters. I want to talk about the other driver guy. I really did not like him most of this movie, but I really did come around to like him at the end. I really came around to like most of the characters at the end. Some that I didn't like, and they were the ones that didn't get a lot of screen time, so there's that. But most of them I did come, a lot of the crew members, a lot of the drivers, I did come around to like. at some point in the film. And this, because this movie has really good character development, really good character arcs, even with Brad Pitt's character. I liked him all the way through the movie. But he went on an own character arc too, um, with stuff. So that was cool. I was really, really happy to see that. And I think it was done really, really well. I really didn't think they were going to take that direction. A lot of films would just cheap out and keep them the same throughout the whole movie, make them not great people, shoehorn them in, make you like them even though you shouldn't like them, to paint a narrative. But this movie doesn't do that. It makes the character become likable, which is a rarity these days. It's a real rarity. And I want to talk about the other thing I really want to talk about. By the way, cinematography was great. This is directed by the same guy who directed Top Gun Maverick, another movie that I really like. The similarities, I don't know what the fuck happened with my audio there. The similarities are very, very apparent, with the in-car angles and the action shots and all that stuff. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? You know? But I wanted to mention that. And then one more thing. The ending of this movie. I really thought that they were going to butcher the ending, just as so many other racing movies over the years butchered the ending. I'm to looking at you, Cars 3. You really butchered an ending like this one, where all the signs are pointing for the old guy, the guy we've been rooting for this entire movie. The one who's been painted in front as the picture, the one on the redemption arc. It's his race to win. And he has a change of heart on the last lap and gives it to the kid, the other guy, the mentor, or the mentee, that we have not been told to root for much at all. But now they're going to shoehorn them in to push a narrative along. Looking at you again, Cars 3. But they don't do that in this movie. And I was so happy when they did. But with how they wrote the other driver, though, if they had done that, I wouldn't have been that mad. Because they give you the opportunity and they let you root for him. They make you want to root for the other guy. So I would have not been mad to see him win. I really wouldn't have. And if they had done that, I would have been happy. So there's that. That's just another way that making the young mentee side character guy a likable character goes a long way. And especially in movies like this. But I really liked the ending. I really liked how they did it. The guy we've been rooting for this entire movie actually won. And on top of that, the other guy, plus all the other crew members, everybody else, still also got what they wanted. It's a happy ending all around, which is a great way to end it. Which was a damn near perfect way to end it. I mean, that's how you do it in movies like this. So it was really good. And they could have still done that had it been the other way around. It wouldn't have been, I think, as good. But it would have still been good. So I was really, really happy with the ending. I also want to give a shout out to that Ed Sheeran song that they played in the credits. What the fuck was that? You wanted to make a super hyped up racing song, and you chose Ed Sheeran to sing it? Who made that decision? He's like the worst option for that. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a banger. Maybe I'll put it in my playlist. Maybe I won't. Anyways, guys, though, that's going to do it for this review. My final score for F1, I'm going to have to give it a good 8 out of 10. I was genuinely surprised how good this movie was. I knew it was going to be some base level quality good. They put so much money into it. It's Brad Pitt. It's Formula One. Like, I knew they were going to do something pretty good with it. I was expecting like a 6, 6.5, but an 8. I think 8's a good score for it. It's far from a perfect movie, but it's really good. And dare I say, probably the best of the summer blockbuster lineup for 2025. It's definitely better than Jurassic World. It's probably going to be better than that's. I think it's. I'm going off of perception. I think a lot of people think it's better than Superman or the even Fantastic Four or the How I Trained Your Dragon live action. But I don't know. I think that's kind of where that would be. So, anyways, that's going to do it for this review. That's going to stay tuned for other much more amazing content. If you've seen the F1 movie as well, by the way, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. That's going to do it, though, again, for this video. So stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.